So, defining terms. What is truth?
Is that a question or a statement?
Yes.
No. It didn't sound like a question.
I'll put more. It's what is truth? Upper inflection on it. So yeah, it's from kind of a psycho-spiritual point of view. It kept hitting me. Thank you, Risa, for the question. It kept hitting me. Well, it's really important if we're like wanting to source truth, like, well, to understand as fundamentally as possible, well, what is truth?
Yep.
And connected to that is, who am I? And like the truth of who am I? What am I? And truth.
Yep. And the who am I becomes the most absolute truth that one can, and that's an important thing, because I'm not going to go down deep down this because of just time. But one of the things, as you know, in Summit 1 of the 9 summits, or Summit 2 rather, is the awakening of the transcendent self, the awakening of that absolute truth within us, that unborn, undying, absolute beingness of who we are. Because everything else in the relative realm is all points of view and perspective, and can be debated and discussed and will change over time. And what's moral in one epoch is not in the next, and the value systems of one are released and something else is introduced in the next. And so there's a relative nature to everything that's happening in space and time. And so there's a part of that relativity, that relative nature, that is changing and always changing. And so the one question becomes, how do we know what's true in that? The Buddhists had a notion called the two truths doctrine, is you have to do your best to determine what is true in the relative world. And yes, it changes, but the response to that isn't just nothing's true, which is part of what's happened in the green postmodern deconstructive philosophies. If they just tore every truth down as relative. The problem is that leaves a meaning vacuum for people. So we have to determine in the relative realm at this point in time what represents the highest truths. And there are ways to get to that, right? But the other truth, and this is the big one, this is the big truth, and this is the one that I will maintain, that as we move into Epoch 6, that is crucially important, is that you have to know that part of yourself that exists beyond relative truth. A part of yourself that is absolute consciousness and beingness and never enters the stream of time and is unborn and therefore will never die. The part that sees everything arising in this relative realm as divine perfection. The part that doesn't enter that stream of time to even mess with it, but knows a part of itself that's free. And within that part that's free is pure bliss, love, peace beyond all understanding. And to know that is one of the crucial knowings that are needed to go back into the relative realm and try to source what's most true in this space-time world that this finite me is locked up in. And so, which are also paths of